Here's the 30-second lesson on what legends know. Never practice nunchucks in a crowded room. Never eat chole before a road trip. Always take your shirt off before you iron it. Don't take a call near a swimming pool. And don't forget, saving is not investing. Legends don't just save, they invest in mutual funds. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Politics in India, as we know, is a 24/7 by 365 by 5 show. It goes on all the time. We say by 5 in the end because the term of a government is 5 years, so we keep it at that. So politics goes on all the time. However, when a major election takes place and the major election produces some surprises or a turnaround or big changes, then this game becomes more intense. For example, if you want to see how this is playing out, check out the headlines about Uttar Pradesh in your politics. Now, Uttar Pradesh is not a state which is heading for elections of any kind. Maybe the odd bipole, but no major election. The state election in Uttar Pradesh will take place in 2027 and next parliament election, as we all know, will be 2029. So why all these stories about Uttar Pradesh? This is happening because in these elections, Lok Sabha elections, the BJP suffered a heavy setback in Uttar Pradesh. Now, if you were in the BJP think tank, they will first of all look at the larger picture. If they look at the larger picture, the biggest takeaway, negative takeaway for them from this election, the positive takeaway is that whatever else might have happened, they have the government, they have 240 seats, they are leading this coalition. Coalition is quite strong, quite stable, and Narendra Modi is Prime Minister for the third time. That's on the positive side. When BJP takes a closer look at this election result, then some of the starker aspects of this result become clear. And one of those, that is something that we mentioned to you while talking about the results, is the fact that Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and West Bengal, the three largest states in India, states also by way of their contribution to national parliament, 80 seats from UP, 48 from Maharashtra, that is 128, and 42 from West Bengal, that is 170. These three states contribute 170 seats. That's just a little less than 1/3 of all of India's parliament of 543. In each of these three states, BJP has ended up second to the leading party. In two, the BJP was the leading party earlier, not just the leading party, but leading party was a large distance, that is Uttar Pradesh and Maharashtra, so that setback is bigger. In West Bengal, they had come close to the leading party, but now they become a very distant second. In Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh, they are not a distant second, they are a close second, but they are still second. In Maharashtra, second to the Congress party, marginally, and Uttar Pradesh, most importantly, second to the Samajwadi party. 33 for the BJP, 37 for the Samajwadi party, and if you add the allies, then this will be a bit like 43:37. That is NDA versus the India alliance. That is the pain point for the BJP, that these three states, maybe they don't bother so much about West Bengal right now because they've never ruled West Bengal, and maybe they can wait, they can lick their wounds, although their most prominent leader in West Bengal has also spoken out in frustration and has even challenged the party's main slogan, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, saying that we should maybe junk this slogan, because if Sabka Saath nahi hai, because everybody is not voting for us, he means thereby that Muslims are not voting for us, so why should we say Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas? But that is frustration. If we leave that aside, the other two states, Maharashtra, we've been speaking about in some detail. I also did so in the last national interest article. That is the state going for the polls now. But Uttar Pradesh is where the BJP's heart is. If the BJP cannot rule Uttar Pradesh, if the BJP cannot get a bulk of the seats in Uttar Pradesh, it's nearly impossible. In fact, it's impossible for the BJP to have a majority of its own. It can still get power, as it has done this time, in an arrangement, in a coalition arrangement. But for them to get anything less than about 50 seats in Uttar Pradesh, is very, very important. Otherwise, their politics cannot go forward the way they've got used to having it over the past 10 years. Now, what is it that's happened in Uttar Pradesh? We know the numbers in Lok Sabha elections. I just told you those numbers. When you cut those numbers, cut and dice those numbers further, when you lift the layers, then you also can extrapolate this with assembly, the state assembly. If you see how these parties have done, rival parties have done in the state, we know what's happened for Lok Sabha seats, but each Lok Sabha seats has a bunch of assembly segments, 5 or 6 in some cases, or thereabouts. When you analyze these, now we haven't done it, right? And the Election Commission has not yet put it on its website, but you can either do a general calculation by multiplying the number of Lok Sabha seats, 1, and assembly segments, but UP Tak, which is quite an authentic source of detailed coverage from the ground level, UP Tak has done an analysis from which I am quoting that, and that analysis tells us that India bloc this time, if this Lok Sabha result were to be translated into assembly segments, then India bloc has 224 seats. They would have won 224 seats in the state assembly, and NDA, the BJP and its allies, and the allies now include RLD, Rashtriya Lok Dal, Apna Dal, etc. All of them included would have won 174 seats. And Chandrasekhar Azad, who's an independent, would have won 5. Generally, I would put him, it will be safe to put him on the side other than the BJP and NDA. So that will then make it a total of 403, which is the size of the assembly. So if you see 2022, BJP had got 255 seats by itself, and now BJP and its allies together are getting only 174. In fact, if you add up the BJP's allies seats in 2022, that added up to 273. For example, if you add BJP's allies, Apna Dal 12 seats, the Nishad Party 6 seats, that comes to 273. What was 273 then has now come to 174. That's a big loss. And the BJP, they might say, oh, that was about the assembly, this is about Lok Sabha, but it doesn't work like that. It works, in fact, in the opposite way, which is that in the assembly election, you might be going there with the pull of your chief minister or your chief ministerial candidate. In this case, Yogi Adityanath, with the added pull of the prime minister. In a Lok Sabha election, your main pull is that of the prime minister, who is your main vote getter. And then you have Yogi Adityanath. So if with this double pull in 2024, you've done so poorly, that is something to worry about. Now, I know that a lot of defenders of the BJP, a lot of fans of the BJP will say, maybe this is hasty, we are jumping to conclusions, but I will only say, please ask the BJP, because BJP's actions themselves tell us that they are very worried about this. There is concern, and what happens in these cases is, as long as you are winning, everything is forgotten. Even if your victory is underwhelming, everything is forgotten. I will give you an example. Compare the 2022 assembly election results in Uttar Pradesh with 2017 assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. In 2017, the BJP by itself had got 312 seats. From that, it came down to 255 in 2022, and yet it looked like a famous victory. The fact is that the BJP had gone down by 67 seats in this case. On the other hand, if you see Samajwadi Party in 2022, they won 111 seats. 2017, they had won only 47 seats. So they had actually gone up by 64 seats in 2022. So 2022 itself, it had looked like that despite the leadership of Yogi Adityanath, and despite the general perception that he was a very powerful and very popular chief minister, the BJP had actually lost quite a large number of seats, and its main opponent, the Samajwadi Party, although in 2022 they were not even in alliance with the Congress Party, they had done quite well. So the momentum was shifting. The signs of the momentum shifting were there, but because the BJP still got enough seats, 255 seats, way above the majority mark, these sort of failures or these setbacks were not seen as setbacks. This was seen as one more day in office, and this was celebrated as a victory. However, now, within 2 years of that, this result shows you two things. One, it shows you that the downward momentum from the peak of 2014 Parliament, 2017 State Assembly and 2019 Parliament. So the downward momentum from then is continuing. Definitely, everything that happens in Lok Sabha doesn't happen the same way in Vidhan Sabha. But once again, remember that in this Lok Sabha, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was on the ticket, backed by Yogi Adityanath. So if anything, the BJP had put its best foot forward. This was the strongest proposition BJP put forward anywhere. And it did not work. And that is what is reflecting in a lot of the BJP's actions, a lot of the statements, a lot of what's going on. Now, what's going on right now is that all politics is competitive. Nobody's in politics for what's happening today or what happened yesterday. They might use the past to get people to vote for them, right? Grievances of the past or achievements of the past or whatever, but they are all looking at their own future. So in the future, they are all competing for where they will end up. The younger you are, the more ambitious you are because you have more time. So the BJP itself has a bunch of leaders in their 50s, right? It's quite a remarkable thing. They have a bunch of really strong leaders in their 50s who will all see their chance going ahead in the future, because one day there will be succession. There will be succession in UP, there will be succession nationally, there will be succession in all the key positions. Among those leaders, the key leader and the youngest for the BJP, the youngest, and I will give you the relative ages of all the key leaders from all the parties in a minute. The youngest in the BJP in that category is Yogi Adityanath, who's now the second term Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, and he's only 52 years old. In fact, he's just turned 52. On 5th of June this year, he's turned 52. He's that young. But then there are others who think that they might have had a better chance and better claim because they've been in the RSS, VHP, which is not the case with Yogi Adityanath. He's a native of the Hindu politics, or you might even say extended Sangh Parivar, that you cannot deny. But there are others who think that they've served in the RSS and BJP and for a long time. Among them is Keshav Prasad Maurya, twice Deputy Chief Minister under Yogi Adityanath. Each time he had the hope that he'll become Chief Minister. Definitely the first time he had it, 2017, that's when Yogi Adityanath came in as a surprise appointment by the BJP High Command, and KP Maurya was left out. Second time, I don't think he would have seen much of a chance for himself because the party was already going to the polls with Yogi Adityanath as their leader. Yogi Adityanath, the bulldozer, then Narendra Modi, double engine ki Sarkar, etc. So some of the first sort of murmurs have come from KP Maurya. KP Maurya is an OBC leader. He is from Maurya community or Maurya caste, which is an extension of the larger Kushwaha group of castes. He is quite popular and quite powerful. So Maurya has been around. He is quite well rooted in his party, and the party carried out a review. Of what happened, how come it did so poorly in this election in Lucknow, right? The review was carried out in Lucknow. In the review, many things were said. In the review, the Chief Minister said, we should not be on the back foot. We've won an election. You will expect him to say it. But there, Keshav Prasad Maurya, it seems, reporters were not present inside. This is the information that came from sources. He said that, look, nobody is bigger than the organization. Government is not bigger than the organization. And later, he put it out on a tweet. So just note this, note the timings. That review meeting was on Sunday in Lucknow. On Tuesday, KP Maurya in Delhi again met Nadda. Now, he met Nadda in the review meeting in Lucknow. On Tuesday, he again met him. And after that, on Wednesday, he put out this tweet. You can see this tweet on your screens. This tweet was deleted soon after. But you know what happens once something is out? It's like when you fire a bullet, you can't take it back. It reaches somewhere and maybe does some damage or whatever. So this tweet remains in the cyberverse. You can take it out, you can read it. And what does the tweet say? It says, Sangathan Sarkar se bada hai. The organization is bigger than any government. कार्यकर्ताओं का दर्द मेरा दर्द है. The pain of the workers is my pain. संगठन से बड़ा कोई नहीं. Nobody is bigger than the organization. कार्यकर्ता ही गौरव है. That workers are our pride. Now this was seen as more than a veiled attack of Yogi Adityanath and his leadership, because the implication or the insinuation as it was read between the lines was that he is saying that it's Yogi Adityanath's personality cult that did not work for the BJP. However, as I told you, soon after he deleted that tweet. So what's he trying to say? If you read this carefully and read between the lines, there can be many interpretations. Some would interpret this as meaning that maybe he is saying that Yogi Adityanath's personality cult didn't work. But probably a more accurate understanding will be that he is saying that Yogi Adityanath's personality cult or personality overshadowed the Sangathan or the organization, and that did not work for the BJP. Whatever it be, it has now opened up a debate and an argumentation within the BJP. Now, KP Maurya, we have to understand who KP Maurya is. He was a senior leader, as we know, and for the BJP, he is a foremost OBC leader. OBCs are very important. They are almost 50% of the voter base in Uttar Pradesh, of which say about 1/3 or thereabouts are Yadav. So their Samajwadi Party is very, very strong. For the rest, it's very important for the BJP to get that vote base, because the upper caste vote base in any case is anywhere between 15 to 18% in Uttar Pradesh. So BJP needs the OBC vote. He is the foremost OBC leader for the BJP. He was not made the chief minister as he had expected in 2017. 2022, he was made deputy chief minister, and he lost election not to a direct Samajwadi Party candidate, but to Pallavi Patel, who contested on Samajwadi Party symbol. But she leads the other faction of Apna Dal led by Anupriya Patel, her sister Anupriya Patel, which is a partner of the BJP in the NDA. Anupriya Patel is a minister of state in this Council of Ministers, as she was in the last one as well. In spite of that, he was made Deputy Chief Minister yet again. That's why, because he's important, what he has done, his responses after the Lok Sabha election results have been interpreted for their significance. He's missed 2 cabinet meetings in Lucknow. Now, some other interesting things have happened in the wake of all these changes, in this churn. So, one of the important things is that Bhupendra Singh Chaudhary, the chief of the BJP, the Pradesh chief in Uttar Pradesh, he has come and met the Prime Minister. Now, it's a rare thing for the Prime Minister to give an audience to a party chief in a state. Prime Minister Modi has not been doing it because his party Sangathan organization is very strong. These things are usually done by the party president or by the home minister or by the general secretaries or by the Prabhari in charge, the leader in charge of the state. In this case, he's seen this problem as being serious enough, this challenge as being serious enough for him to meet the party chief in the state directly. Who's Bhupendra Singh Chaudhary? He's also somebody who makes an occasional colorful statement. He said, for example, during the 2022 state election campaign that after the election results, Asaduddin Owaisi Janeu pehenega, he'll be wearing a Janeu and he'll be saying Ram Ram. So he's made those statements. However, there is a question mark now on whether he continues, whether the party will continue him as its leader in Uttar Pradesh, because the performance of the party in the state has been below indifferent. I won't say underwhelming, I won't say indifferent, it's below indifferent, because without ruling the state, without holding sway in this state, BJP cannot dream of a majority in the country. And any thought that going ahead they will weaken even further and may lose the state of Uttar Pradesh, although it's far away, it's 3 years away. But these are issues of momentum. When a momentum sets in, it becomes that much tougher to reverse it the longer you let it drift. And that is what the BJP is worried about. And as you would expect, Samajwadi Party, Akhilesh Yadav is having fun. He's been tweeting, he's been giving interviews. I will share one tweet with you in Hindi and I read it out for you. He also said this in his interview with Dibang, Hindi journalist Dibang, and he says, monsoon offer 100 lao, Sarkar banao. So basically he is trolling KP Maurya saying you really want to be chief minister, break the BJP, get 100 MLAs with you. I will support you. Samajwadi Party will support you. You can set up your own government. And he's saying learn from Bihar. I suspect there the hint is that think of Nitish Kumar, because he has a bunch of people, he takes them out and gets someone to support him to set up a government, so he becomes chief minister. So he says Bihar se सीखिए, आप भी 100 लेके आइए, monsoon offer है, 100 लाओ, सरकार बनाओ. In the same spirit, he is also writing long tweets, and I will read one of those to you, maybe in a slightly abridged form, and you will see all of it on your screen. दिन पर दिन कमजोर होती भाजपा में टकराव और भटकाव का दौर शुरू हो गया है. भाजपा खेमों में बट गई है. भाजपा के एक नेता महोदय अपने ही शीर्ष नेतृत्व के दिए नारे को नकार रहे हैं. कोई मुख्यमंत्री जी कह रहे हैं कि बैकफुट पर जाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, जो उछल कूद कर रहे हैं वो बैठा दिए जाएंगे. कोई कह रहा है संगठन सरकार से बड़ा है, तो कोई सहयोगी दल हार का कारण दिल्ली लखनऊ के नेतृत्व के ऊपर डाल रहा है. कोई वीडियो बनाकर बयान दे रहा है, कोई चिट्ठी लिख रहा है. भाजपा में एक दूसरे को कमतर दिखाने के लिए कठपुतली का खेल खेला जा रहा है. सबकी डोरी अलग अलग हाथों में है. भाजपा में पर्दे के पीछे लड़ाई सरेआम हो गई है. इंजन ही नहीं, अब तो डब्बे भी आपस में टकरा रहे हैं. So he is hinting at Shubhendu Adhikari, the West Bengal leader of the BJP, who has said that we should give up Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, which is obviously the slogan he's talking about, which has come from the topmost levels of his high command. And not to be left behind, not long after he had deleted his own tweet, Keshav Prasad Maurya responded to Akhilesh Yadav's taunt, and he said in response, सपा बहादुर श्री अखिलेश यादव जी, भाजपा की देश और प्रदेश दोनों जगह मजबूत संगठन और सरकार है. सपा का पीडीए का मतलब है पिछड़ा, दलित और अल्पसंख्यक. पीडीए, सपा का पीडीए धोखा है. यूपी में सपा के गुंडा राज की वापसी असंभव है. भाजपा 2027 में विधानसभा में 2017 दोहराएगी. And you can see the translation of this on the screen as we did with Akhilesh's tweet as well. But there is a little twist here. He's saying in this tweet that 2027 BJP will repeat the success of 2017, not of 2022. That's an important little factoid to make note of. So if you look at this whole big picture, you can see that quite apart from what's happening in national politics and quite apart from what will play out in Maharashtra, Haryana and Jharkhand now, and also in Jammu and Kashmir, as state elections take place in a few months from now, a completely different game and a very significant game has also opened out in the state of Uttar Pradesh.